I knew it was going to be bad, but did it have to be this bad, really? Last time you saw the beater Bimmer 2.0, we realized the short block needed to come out. After cutting a stubborn bell housing bolt and an hour of work, we pulled the tired heart out of the BMW. Next, we gave it a good wash and brought it to our machine shop for disassembly and inspection.
So we went to take the flywheel off of the M62, and we didn't have the right tool to get to the flywheel bolts, so we had to make it. This is a T60 Torx. We had to neck it down because these are actually offset and it wouldn't go on there with all the meat on there. And since we didn't have the proper adapter, we had to make that too. So a little couple minutes with a welder and a grinder. Now we got that. Bolted this on there to keep the flywheel from moving. And now we're going to break them loose.
Something broke, I don't know if it broke.
Once the flywheel was off, we disassembled the rear of the engine and began bolting it to the engine stand. Our stand did not have enough adjustment to work properly, so we decided to bolt the adjustable pieces to the block and weld them to the hub of the stand.
After the short block was securely mounted to the stand, we began the rest of the disassembly process.
So we took the mid pan, I guess you could say. It's the front of the oil pan off. This is the bottom part of where the timing cover is and all the timing assembly, which got chewed up on this car. That's where all of it is. And it's pretty bad. There's pieces of plastic in the oil pickup. Of course, there's like pieces of plastic everywhere, and it's like just glitter everywhere in here. So this is not good. Not good at all. There's, oh, you see that? There's glitter everywhere in this motor. I'm talking about everywhere. So, no bueno, but we'll keep on digging into it just because we're gonna build it either way. We got the front timing cover off, and this U-guide, that's the inside guide of the timing chain, has been eaten. You can see where the chain was running, and then it is eaten completely off the back of it. It's also this, which we knew about this earlier. I think we tried to film it earlier. It's broken off of the block right there. There is shavings everywhere in it. Another really bad thing, this cylinder over here is completely eaten up. I need a light, but it's eaten up really bad. There's a couple other cylinders that have some deep scratching, which is not a bad thing. We knew we were going to bore it and put sleeves in it, but this motor's seen some carnage. Completely disassembled, all the pistons, everything's out of it. We did find on one piston the cylinder that we pointed out was bad. Of course, the piston will be bad too, which we kind of figured that. It's pretty rough, so we'll be getting a piston. Other than that, the block is pretty good shape. I'm not worried about the boards because we're going to bore it and sleeve it. So, yeah, not too bad. It definitely looks beefier than we thought it would be, so that's a plus. Alright, so we got the motor torn down. we have the boring bar set up on it, and we're boring it to accept these sleeves. So these are 3/32 milling sleeves. Bore this out just a hair under 3/32 bigger and press them in there. If you're wanting to know, it's a Van Norman 944 boring bar. It's pretty standard. And I guess we'll go ahead and turn it on. So we've already got the tool set. Everything's set how it's supposed to be. Back off on these some. And action. Get a little WD-40 on there because it's aluminum. So this cutter cuts the bore, and as it goes down in there, these cat paws, they go inside the bore, and I open them up. That's how it's done. We just do that like 100 times. Put her down.
Get to some fresh tape. Alright. It's freely hanging there, so.
This is how you set it up. So I have it unlocked now. There's a bar that goes through the second cylinder and pulls against the mains, and that's what holds it on there. This is what tightens that. This is loose now. So you slide it around, get it close, and then you roll this in there. Rolls it out about halfway. Let me make sure my thing is still in there good. And then expand the 4 cat's paws in there and kind of move the tool a little bit. Put that in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and lock it. Put a little spring pressure on it, and then tighten this up. And that's it. That's all you do. And then you unlock it. Roll it up. And it's centered. This little tool here is how we get the diameter of what it's boring. So this part, the back, it seats in the machine. We put that on our little measuring device. Push it up against there. This is a micrometer. It's made for this. And then, as you do with micrometers, pull it in until it's tight. Now this reads that it's going to bore a 3/723 thousandths is what that will bore, and this reads out in what the machine will bore. So we are going to run them all to 3.725 basically, because that's what our guides will go out to. And then we're going to change guides and run them all out to 3.810 of an inch, which is a 2/1000ths press fit or interference fit on the sleeve. For aluminum, we want a measured 2/1000ths press fit, because aluminum expands more than iron. After about 40 passes with the boring bar, the block was ready to accept the sleeves.
We do them at work, we just put them in the.
What's it up to?
Is that the short?
Yeah.
Yep.
just have to get it straight.
That thing slid in there.
Yep. I checked that next cylinder and it didn't lose anything.
There's the little toe.
Probably already loaded it. Okay,
Alright, so we got one side of the block sleeved, all the sleeves are in it. We're doing them one at a time because our freezer is like 50 yards away, so I'm having to run for the sleeve and push it in here. This is the setup. We have a propane burner and some fire blankets over the engine. It kind of keeps all the heat. The bores, which we bored yesterday to 810, 3.810 inches. They are going up to roughly 3.814. So the block is growing way more than we thought it was with the propane. Lucky.
Go.
gracious, we made something come out of it.
I think that's it. Okay, so we have all 8 sleeves in. It went smoother than expected. We're going to get parallels, which are precision ground plates, and we're going to set them here and put the boring bar back on, and the next step will be to cut the protruding part of the sleeve down to deck height. So we left them a little long on purpose. We're going to cut that down. It'll all be smooth and a perfect deck. And then after that, we'll bore the holes to 3.622, and our block will be sleeved and ready to make as much power as we want to try to make with it, which for the time being will be 282. Alright, so the block has been sleeved and bored, and now we're on to fixing the broken bits that we showed in the first video. We showed in the first video this piece that was broken off. It's part of the timing set. It actually holds the lower guide on the driver's side. So this guide, now that we have it fixed, will go on here like so. Before we fixed it, this piece was broken off and part of it was sticking up. So we used the seat and guide machine and put a cutter in it that's made to cut valve guide bosses. We cut it down flush, and then Dad machined a little piece that threads in there. We threaded it in there, we put JB weld on it, and it is there for life. So if it ever has to come out, it's gonna have to be drilled out. But yeah, it works, and now we're gonna get to honing the cylinders, and the machining part of the block will be done after we hone the cylinders. Alright, So the only thing left on this block is to plastic gauge and see our tolerance for the crank. We don't have any plastic gauge, but when we get some, we're going to do that. Everything else is done. We got the piece on the front fixed that broke with the timing chain. We have it bored and sleeved and homed, ready to go. It should be ready to make some decent power if I decide to put boost to it. But other than that, it's ready to be put back together and put in the car. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw here, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Racing Rejects. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Action.